All right, people, we're here for week 4 of the BHDL recaps, and I'm joined by Scorpion once again. How's it going, my friend?
I'm doing well, Emerald. What's going on, everyone? My name is Scorpion, and welcome back to another BHDL weekly recap. We're into week 4, got a lot of fire matches this week, and as usual, let's waste no further time. Let's get right into it. Emerald, we see right here Kingbura versus Arcanine, as you said. What are we thinking a team preview?
We've got 2 choice items on Kingbura's team. He's also got the Covert Cloak. I'm guessing he doesn't want to get burned by a Sacred Fire from Entei.
Yep, that could actually be a great choice there. I think the first time we see Arcanine's transactions coming up here, so we do see the Entei and the Virizion coming off the bench right off the bat. I'm very excited to see what these Pokemon are going to do. Obviously, we do not see items from Jesse's side, but I'm sure he's got some heat for us. Let's get right into the first game.
Yes, indeed. Ah, I see they're a fellow man of culture with the Mewtwo in their logo.
Mewtwo versus Roaring Moon. This is unfortunately not the type of league that allows these monsters, but let's see, we're seeing the double bulky water lead. I wonder if Arcanine kind of predicted this lead and kind of wanted to just start off with a nice little momentum flip turn right off the bat. But we're going to see Kingbura fire off a Specs Moonblast right away. As Vaporeon actually outspeeds and goes for Shadow Ball. I'm not sure about my speed teaser, but Vaporeon outspeeding Primarina is very interesting.
Yes, they're going for the Shadow Ball continuously here, just trying to whittle down this Primarina. Of course, the Primarina is going to win the 1v1 here, but at the cost of a good chunk of its HP, so I wonder if this was Arcanine's strategy from the jump.
Absolutely. The Primarina is one of Kingbura's premier threats, so if he could get out of the way very, very early, that could potentially be really, really good for him. Primarina actually does pose a very, very big threat into Arcanine's team, though, because the Water-Fairy combination is pretty much unresisted. As we can see, the only Fairy resist is weak to Water.
Yes, they do manage to get a Spadef drop there before they go down. And now they could perhaps send something else in. They do have that Virizion that could come in and threaten a switch.
Absolutely. Virizion, actually a very nice mixed attacker as well, can very easily threaten on both sides of the spectrum, and it does have the coverage as well to threaten this entire team. I believe it does get Stone Edge, so this Cryogonal, obviously, or especially the Drifblim, actually, Cryogonal's weak to fighting, but this Drifblim is absolutely at risk of, taking a very big shot, but we are going to see Drifblim switch in as he does just go for a nice little Leaf Blade, and we see a Life Orb as well, so Life Orb offensive Virizion. Love to see it.
Very interesting. You got to be wondering if this thing is packing Stone Edge, the coverage, like you said. They also have a Zebstrika that if they can get... Well, the Terra Zebstrika, honestly, can hit pretty much everything on Kingbura's team.
Absolutely. Gonna have to find a way through that Hippowdon first, though, especially if it is a physical attacking one. Gonna see Virizion forced out now with obviously the X4 fighting weakness, and we're gonna see a Calm Mind. Arcanine not wanting to take the risk of a Stone Edge potentially missing if he does have it, but of course, if that wouldn't have killed him, he would have gotten the Citrus Berry pocked on the Drifblim, which could have potentially been an Unburdened Sleep right off the get-go. But not gonna see that just yet, as Zebstrika is gonna force Drifblim right out again, as in comes Hippowdon.
Yes, let's see if Arcanine managed to predict the switch. They do indeed go for the Terra. Terra Blast Ice would be hitting both Hippo and Drifblim super effective. Let's see it.
Absolutely. Terra Ice, very, very well predicted there from Arcanine, as he does go immediately for the Terra Blast and takes Hippowdon down to almost half HP. Very great prediction. Obviously, he does kind of cover both sides, but getting this thing weakened for your offensive Electric Trap is obviously amazing. But definitely, as we could see, not quite enough to two-shot, so there is definitely still a risk of staying in and potentially eating a big Stone Edge or something else. But let's see how the sides respond. Arcanine is going to switch out, and I believe Hippowdon just clicked Slack off there, as it did. Yep.
Yes, Virizion is back in, now threatening a powerful Grass-type attack.
For sure, we're going to see Drifblim switch back in. Seems like Kingbura is very comfortable with this position into Drifblim against Virizion. Perhaps not really afraid of any moves it wants to go for or trying to get that Citrus Berry proc. It's just going to put it out of range, but Sandstorm Chip, will it be enough? Not quite enough to proc the Citrus Berry, so Unburden not quite going to be active yet. However, of course, Drifblim now still threatening Virizion on its nasty X4 flying weakness. So let's see how Arcanine responds.
Absolutely. Is threatening a Will-O-Wisp or obviously an Air Slash. You gotta find something else that could switch in. Oh, but they do go for the Stone Edge, and that was range, Scorp.
Absolutely. So it was actually Stone Edge, and that was just in range. So Arcanine are very strategically switching out, getting the Drifblim and Whittle down. And as we saw, the Citrus Berry just out of range of proccing. So that was perfectly, like, that worked out perfectly for Arcanine. And now we see the Lycanroc being pretty much forced to come out. Sandrush Lycanroc once again finding that position to come in. And now having its excellent speed here, being able to fire off a powerful Psychic Fangs to threaten this Virizion. But still, Virizion already putting in work for Arcanine, taking that Drifblim out with the surprise Stone Edge. Love to see it.
Yes, sir. They do have a Dawn fan that could easily switch him, but they're just gonna let the Virizion go down. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't try to switch anything else in.
So am I, but there is perhaps the possibility that the Arcanine has a bit of a game plan where he's wanting to take sort of keep Donphan in the back, keep it healthy. There might also be a bit of a a situation where you really want to keep that sturdy up. That could potentially be a thing as well, as that can absolutely come in clutch later. But of course, Lycanroc now can be forced to switch out as it is locked into Psychic Fangs, and we do also see the choice band on it, which is really cool to see. But going to see the ground type on ground type action now with Hippowdon versus Donphan.
Yes, two infamously bulky Stealth Rock setters. Let's see what's gonna happen here. If they do try to set the rocks versus Dawn fan, they can just easily Rapid Spin. And although Hippo has the slack off to be able to win the War of Attrition.
Absolutely. Donphan not having that reliable recovery here is definitely a big deal. But what is very important on Arcanine side is he does have the Rapid Spin, as we see him go for it right now, to actually get rid of the rocks that Kingbura has just set. So if this exchange does go on, it is very likely that Arcanine will leave the situation with rocks off his side, but on Kingbura's side.
Yes, indeed. Kingbura is going to go for those Stealth Rocks again, as we actually see the switch here, wanting to speed this game up, it would seem.
Absolutely, as Noivern is going to come right back out. No, not threatening a Hurricane Confusion potentially or anything else because of the covered cloak. Although I believe not. Never mind. Donphan knocked it off. I completely skipped over that. But we're going to see the switch into Cryogano now. Noivern, despite not being a Terra Captain, definitely very, very threatening with its speed here. As we do immediately see a powerful Boom Burst comes out, and that does a good third of a chunk to this Cryogano here.
Yes, indeed. Cryogonal is a infamously Spadef bulky Pokemon, but Noivern, especially if it's got like a choice specs, let's say, it can hit decently hard. So he's gonna have to try to figure out what else he can do here in this situation.
Absolutely. I do actually think that the more this Noivern is able to enter the field, the more damage it can potentially do. It does actually just have the right moves and again speed here to really put a dent in Kingbura's team. And Arcanine are actually making the hyper aggressive play on staying in on a potential ice move to get more damage off on this Cryogano in exchange for Cryogano now getting a rapid spin off. So rocks now removed from both sides of the field. That was a very risky play, just leaving it in on an ice type there.
Yes, indeed. But I've noticed a trend. It's like staying in with Ferrothorn against a fire type and things like that. If it's so obvious, sometimes you can stay in knowing that your opponent is go for something else, like Rapid Spin there. So great play on Arcaniner.
Absolutely, especially because in this game specifically, we do obviously have the Entei on that side of the field, and obviously Kingbura does want to make the most of his turn there by going for that rapid spin. If you do go for the ice move and Entei switches in, it now threatens immediately a big fire move, and you still have rocks on your side of the field. So I can absolutely understand going for the rapid spin there. I think that was the good play. But now is the striker going to come in, and unfortunately not quite getting the read correct with Arcanine going for low kick there. But we'll see if he's choiced or not, because if he's not, this will easily threaten out the Primarina once more.
Yeah, I feel like Terra Blast would just do a good chunk to anything, even Lycanroc and Cacturn. We saw how much it did to Hippo. I don't know how much more Terra Blast Ice would have done to this Primarina, though.
Not much more, but we do see that the Zebstrika is in fact not choice locked, and it is able to go for a high horsepower, and that finishes off the Primarina. So definitely taking advantage of its night speed here. I do actually really like Zebstrika as a Terra Captain in this game, honestly. It looks like it has a very, very strong position, but of course, Kingbura does have plenty of ways to force it out now, so let's see how they respond.
Absolutely. I wish that I would have been able to use Terra Zebstrika myself when I had it to this effect, but the tie is scored. They both have 4 Pokemon each.
You just say the tie is scored?
Yes, indeed. The tie is scored. We're going to see what's going to happen here.
We love it. We're here for these moments, folks. But we're going to see Hippowdon switch back in. Obviously, it is very, very physically tanky. So even a Terra Blast Ice, definitely not going to take it out at this point. And both Stone Edge and Body Press will probably threaten a KO on the Zebstrika at this point. Hippowdon's attack stat and defense stats are both very, very high. But as we can see, Arcanine are actually slowly running out of switch-ins to this Hippowdon. So actually opts to stay in, probably recognizing what I just said, and going for the Terra Blast Ice. But unfortunately, it is not enough to two-shot the Hippowdon, and Hippowdon is able to slowly get its HP back while whittling down this Striker with the Sandstorm.
Yes, I'm not sure what item this thing is. We know it's not choice. We know it's not life orb. Maybe they opted for an expert belt, but you know, this is
I
one of
could
those cases where you want to try to do as much damage to this hippo as possible.
Absolutely, I can definitely see expert belt being a thing, but it's just not quite enough. The boosts, even if it is expert belt boosted, just not quite enough here to break through this Hippowdon, as Kingbura is opting to make the safe play and just repeatedly going for the slack offs, slowly getting his health back. But Arcanine is trying to just catch Kingbura slipping and going for something else other than the slack off, but Kingbura is having absolutely none of it and keeping his Hippowdon at full health.
Yes, and this is one of the things where we see the sand is really doing a number on this Striker, slowly getting it in range, if it wasn't already, of a potential earthquake here. They have used up half of their slack offs, but they're still in a good position.
Absolutely, the Hippowdon is still just trying to make the consideration of going for an earthquake or going for a another recover here. If we do see the Terra Blast Ice come out, just puts it below under half, and let's see if the earthquake is actually enough at this point. It is enough to score the kill on the Striker, and down it goes, which does knock Arcanine down to 3 Pokemon, but does grant him a free switch in, and Hippowdon being greatly weakened might open up the possibility for something else as well.
Yes, indeed, we do see a rapid spin here from the Dawn fan as they just continue to slack off, it would seem, on this hippo.
Absolutely, Hippowdon proving why it is absolutely worthy of being an 18-point on our draft board. So difficult to KO, so difficult to take down, and we see a big hazard war in this game right now. So we see Stealth Rocks once again being traded on both sides here. I've lost count of how many times we've seen Stealth Rock go up and get removed at this point.
Yes, I guess this is what happens when you've got two of the best hazard setters or stealth rock setters in this meta, actually, going at it.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, though, as you mentioned earlier, the Hippowdon does have that reliable recovery, which Donphan just quite simply doesn't have. So this can be forced out eventually, and as we can see, Kingbura just having that option to whittle it down with Earthquake slowly over time, and eventually making it unable to remove those Stealth Rocks later on. And as we see, Arcanine's last 2 Pokemon are in fact weak to rocks, so if those Stealth Rocks go up and they stay up, that could potentially be big trouble.
Ooh, big read here from Arcanine getting the flamethrower off on the Triagonal. I'm not. I have to assume. Well, we're not certain if it's specs yet or not. But if it's not boots, that was a good play trying to rapid spin and then immediately bring in the Noivern there to avoid it taking any more chip.
Absolutely. I do believe that might be specs. I mean, Noivern special attacks that is not the highest in the world. The main reason why that it gets its power from is from those high base power moves. And Cryogana obviously very specially bulky. But I guess we're about to see now Kingbura now opting to go for the ice move, as the flamethrower is actually enough to take it out. From judging from Kingbura's reaction, I believe that might have been a roll.
Ooh, yeah. I didn't think that was going to kill, honestly. It seemed like a low to high roll, perhaps.
Absolutely, as unfortunately Cryogana are now going to knock Kingbura down to 3 Pokemon, and it seems that this Cacturne is not actually in the best of positions against both the Entei and the Noivern, because even if it's locked into Flamethrower, that's still going to KO, so we actually are going to see it come out, so maybe fitting a nice big Sucker Punch. It does have a pretty respectable attack stat, and a Life Orb on deck as well. I forgot this is a Terra Captain, actually. Whoops,
It is a Terra Captain, oof, so we're going to get basically adaptability boosted Sucker Punch with Life Orb here. But they do switch out into Entei, so it's going to do absolutely nothing.
Absolutely, as we are going to see the Terra Dark pop off now, and very interesting that now that the Virizion is down, there are actually no resistance to this. Unfortunately, Sucker Punch is going to fail, but the Entei is actually already chipped, so if you can get it in range of that Sucker Punch, you could potentially be in the money, because as we can see, it is not boots, and that would explain why Arcanine has been so desperate to keep these rocks off all game.
Absolutely. One might assume perhaps Banded Entei. We do say extreme speed based on damage that looks like Banded.
Yep, it does. Although unfortunately, Stone will be enough. As we can see, Hippowdon really, that Titanic bulk is so difficult to break through. If you can snag a Sacred Fire Bun on this Entei, now that on the Hippowdon, now that the Cover Cloak is knocked off, you might be in with a chance, but it's going to be so difficult to find these positions. As we can see, Noivern coming in, also taking rocks. So Arcanine was really reliant on keeping those rocks off for this match.
Yes, indeed. But the Noivern is in. It's going to have to try to do as much damage as possible to this Hippo while it's still alive.
Absolutely. As we did actually see from the moves that Kingbura does not actually have a move to threaten this Noivern with. It is Mono Earthquake. So if Arcanine can just make the read on that, I don't believe all 4 moves have been revealed, but if he is aware of the fact that this Hippowdon cannot touch him, then he could potentially just keep on chipping it down. And as we can see, it's only got 2 Slack-Offs left.
Massive damage. They do threaten them with the Yawn now, so now we're in a situation where do you try to potentially take out the Hippo or get damage off on something else, but then your Noivern is going to go to sleep. But if you switch, they've got a free slack off here.
So it's a very difficult position, as we do actually see Arcanine make the trade-off of having his Noivern go to sleep. I think that was the correct play, especially because it is now going to take some more chip damage and fall asleep. And those Stealth Rocks, again, really just digging in, making it more and more difficult to bring it back in. So going to just cut his losses and finally get rid of that immortal Hippowdon. Only problem now is there is now a Sandrush Lycanroc and a Terra Dark Cacturne to be dealt with still.
Yes, indeed. Perhaps if this Donphan was at higher health, it could be able to 1v1 the Lycanroc, but remember, it's been chipped down so much.
Absolutely. Noivern going to stay asleep now, and we do see a nice big knockoff coming out from Kingbura. Obviously, we know that the Noivern has 1 guaranteed turn of sleep, and as we can see from the nice little text that Kingbura put on the screen, it was indeed confirmed to be choice specs. I mean, I think that was obvious anyway, but yeah, going to take rid of it now as Entei finds its way back on the field at half health. So now the Sucker Punch mind games can begin.
Yes, but it is interesting, though. You gotta wonder how much Extreme Speed is going to do this Lycanroc if they want to try to... I mean, that's the only thing they can really do, honestly. But even then, I don't think this Donphan is going to be able to beat this Lycanroc once it comes in.
I don't think so either. It has definitely been greatly chipped. It's a very tough position for Arcanine, especially considering, like, what do you click? Do you go for the Sacred Fire to potentially take this thing out, or also, risk taking on the Lycanroc? Not at all. Or do you go for the Extreme Speed to take out this character guaranteed, and then take your chances against the Lycanroc? Because we do see Extreme Speed will come out, and it will be enough to finish off the Cacturne, obviously easily out-prioritizing that. But let's see if Entei can pull through here for Arcaniner.
This Lycanroc is decently healthy. I mean, I think this is going to do a good chunk. Didn't even get it below half, honestly.
Nope, I definitely needed to be more chipped, and yeah, critical hit, close combat with the choice band is absolutely going to put it away, and that now all leaves it all up to Donphan, which I believe is 2 chipped, and banded close combat. Despite Donphan's higher defense, I don't think it's going to be enough to save it here.
No, absolutely not. Perhaps if the Lycanroc was forced to lock itself into a rock-type attack, they might have had something here, but because they're locked into CC, they are able to just take out the Donphan and win the game 1-0.
Absolutely. Very big win there for Kingbura there. Congratulations to both trainers, though. That was an amazing game. And yeah, Lycanroc absolutely pulling through here for Kingbura. Very scary pickup with that Sandstream all game. And yeah, the hazards went crazy in this game overall. I'm sure we were both enjoying that.
Yes, that was a great thing to see. All right, people. So Aprater versus Fournaubyl. This is going to be an interesting game here. Fournaubyl has he's been not having the best start to their season. But they're going up against Aprater, who also probably hasn't had the best start himself. So both of these trainers looking for a win here.
Absolutely, I really like it. Would appear that we have quite the hyper offensive approach here from both sides. Obviously, we have the kind of sticky web mode from Fournaubyl, and we do see the Torterra finally come off the bench. I'm very excited to see how that thing does. Please don't disappoint me. And we also have a nice hyper offense set up from Adam here with once again dual mirror herbs.
We've got to have the mirror herbs. If you have an Aprater battle, you got to have either a mirror herb or a weakness policy.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if we are facing a Torterra. So let's see how this goes. Going to see Regieleki into the Hisuian Braviary lead, so immediately not the best lead for Adam, but we do have the Piloswine on deck to immediately wall that thing to the end of the earth.
Yes, let's see if they want to perhaps get up a screen. They actually go for a lock-on, so perhaps want to hit something with a Zap Cannon.
Zap Cannon Regieleki would be fire attack, but unfortunately, again, it really can't touch this thing. Transportation obviously on this thing is banned, so Regieleki is going to be forced out, and we are going to see the Alolan Dugtrio come in actually with an air balloon, so it is able to switch it on an Earthquake, but we do see a Trailblaze to pop it instead. Emerald, can you explain to me, why did that Trailblaze do half?
Yeah, I'm looking at that. I can't believe that just did half. It wasn't a crit or anything. This is a Violite Piloswine. I don't know why it did half. I think that Dugtrio was just so weak. Look, that Ice Shard kill! Oh, it was Terraflying. It was Terrafly. It wasn't neutral, but you know, Dugtrio is gone.
Yep, Adam actually getting the soul read on the Terra there. This Dugtrio really tried its best to fly. Air Balloon got popped, tried to terrestrialize to get its Air Balloons back, and then got popped by an Ice Shot anyway. So this Mon was not having a great day, unfortunately, as Fournaubyl is now going to bring out the Rabombi actually and trick this Piloswine, a Choice Specs, and steal its Violi.
Yes, so now the Piloswine is locked into a move, unfortunately. Gonna have to switch out here. So some cool text here from Fournaubyl.
Absolutely, yeah. I wonder if we're going to see webs. I mean, if it is a choice spec set, there might not be. Oh, well, never mind. I do stand corrected. We do have sticky webs on deck, so maybe there was the chance to switch that out all along. But we're now going to see the Grafai come in as Rabombi is going to be forced out, and we're going to see Regieleki come back, and it just takes it out with a critical hit. Fournaubyl, are your Pokemon made of noodles?
Oh, that is tough. You gotta feed them some protein there, buddy. These poor Mons. The crit obviously clearly mattered there. I'm almost certain this is not even a Life Orb or a Choice Banded Grafai. Regieleki does not have the best defenses, of course, but now Typhlosion is in, so perhaps we could see a Scarf Eruption threaten something on Aprater's team.
Absolutely, as we do actually see Aprater, as we saw, immediately switch into the, what I presume is Flash Fire Cerulege, but if it goes for Shadow Ball, this could potentially go horribly wrong. Very, very risky switch. So we do see the Hex actually come out, not Shadow Ball. Not quite enough to get the kill, unfortunately, but still Cerulege taking big damage there and forcing the Sterilite out once again.
Good play on Fournaubyl for getting that read there.
Absolutely, doubling out right back into the Rabombi there, getting the both the sticky web setters in OU on the field at the same time.
Ooh, perhaps a dual webs action to just cancel each other out.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, though, for Fournaubyl, the Regieleki is gone, so that thing is not going to be able to spin block anymore, as they're going to try to muscle its way through the Arachnoid with Moonblast, but unfortunately not quite going to get the KO there, as Liquidation takes that cleanly. Again, another near one-hit KO for Aprater. This is going very, very fast.
Yes, Fournaubyl is down 3 Pokemon already, as the Mimikyu is in, and we're going to get the webs up for the rest of his team.
So they're going to be forced to break that disguise first, and me personally, I'm actually a very, very big fan of Mimikyu as well. I'm going to be honest, I actually had no idea Arachnoid got Trailblaze, but here you go, lads, now it does. As now going to be forced to deal with this Swords Dance boosted Mimikyu, and the Play Rough misses. That is mighty, mighty unfortunate.
Oh, Fournaubyl is not having the best time here. That Play Rough certainly would have killed, because I don't think Arachnoid goes for the Wood Hammer to get the 100% accurate move. But it takes time in the process.
Yeah, it takes that in the process, but Fournaubyl was like, nope, screw you, I'm getting my 1 KO and I'm out of here, bro.
Yes, you know, considering how healthy it was, it might have been better to go for the guaranteed KO, but, you know, not wanting to get any chip on Mimikyu, I can understand.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like you really gotta eat risk, because we do finally see the Torterra hit the field, but unfortunately, not being quite in the base of matchups here. Definitely being threatened of 1-hit KO by easily an Air Slash or a Hurricane. Oh. And yep, Torterra down it goes immediately by another Air Slash, bro. This is almost hard to watch.
Oh, this is tough. This is tough. Frisk the Mirror Herb. I think that this thing is Sheer Force boosted. I'm assuming.
Yep. I do believe we are seeing Life Orb Sheer Force come into play now, but we do see Eruption now, and I do think he's showing Evolutions naturally faster than he's doing Bravery, so might not be Specs, or Scarf, I mean. But Eruption definitely going to get a very, very clean KO. They're not opting to, Adam not opting to go into the Flash Fire Cerulege that time, but if it is choice, it is going to be forced out now.
Yes, goes for the Shadow Sneak, as they are indeed choice locked. And this is Fournaubyl's last Pokemon, so that's going to be the game score.
Yep, Shadow Sneak going to take that Hisui and Typhlosion out, and that is a game. Very, very fast-paced. But brother, I was almost losing my mind. What was going on?
You know, the deck was kind of stacked there against Fournaubyl, unfortunately. We got this Bronzong stuck in a tree over here. You know, with the crits and the misses, it definitely didn't help. I mean, I think Aprater had a solid position there, but the hacks certainly didn't help Fournaubyl's case.
Absolutely. Well, GG's to both sides, though.
GG's. Alright, so we're hopping right in the midst of this game here. Unfortunately, Pokemaster had some recording issues, but we do see the Spite here. What are our thoughts here, Scope? We're seeing the Spites on the recovery.
Bro, not only are we seeing Spite, but we're kind of seeing the opposite of last game.
We're
That
see
Earth
Curse.
Did absolutely nothing. Yeah, we're going to see Curse being whittled down on this Cloud's Eye here. We're being thrown right into the chaos. Spite absolutely fire attack to get rid of the recover PP. As we can see, Curse already down to 3. And really funny how in that last game, we're noticing how everything was taking so much damage, because this Earthquake is doing absolutely nothing to this Pecharunt.
Oh, they're out of PP for the Earthquake, and they're down the curse. This is like waking up in a war zone.
Oh my god, bro! This Clodsire just got memed. I think that must have been some complete anti-Clodsire tech from DrVr's Pecharunt right there. Love to see it, honestly.
Great to see. Yes, of course. With Pecharunt's super high defenses, it can't kill it. And I'm assuming that the mean look is the other move on that thing. Otherwise, they would have switched out the Claude.
Absolutely. We're going to see a big Poltergeist come over here from the Bramblegast. This Pecharunt, though, again, very, very much in a strong position to just like keep trading hits and potentially get a Malignant Chain Poison on something. I really wonder if Chris can actually respond to this thing and respond to it fast, because it might whittle us down his team otherwise. But we are going to see a switch out, and we're going to see the Grimmsnarl be switched back in, which seemingly has already come out once, and this Poltergeist's not going to appreciate it too much. Leftovers, I don't think is going to be able to save it from a follow-up attack.
Yes, indeed. Could perhaps fire off a Thunder Wave or get up some screens. We'll see what they want to do here. Gonna send an Altar. It makes sense. It can take a Thunder Wave and then switch out and get rid of it.
Absolutely. I did also just spot, I think just like a previous week, we do see the Zoroark from Chris being disguised as the Heracross. What are your thoughts on that, Emerald?
Well, it's great that he's finally disguised correctly as the Heracross. So that's great to see. It seems that they've already had the Terra Fairy pop off on us. I don't know how much we've missed in this battle, but it seems like there's a good show.
This seems like that one meme where the guy comes in with pizza and the whole house is on fire. That's what this feels like.
It's exactly what this is. It's now the special attack drop guaranteed from the Spirit Break. But Alluring Voice, surely this kills unless they get up a light screen here.
Absolutely. DrVr actually, once again opting for the very, very interesting Grimmsnarl set and does still opt to keep it around. As we do see the Terra Fairy Alluring Voice come out from the Altaria, and this Pecharunt is just like did that do anything? Did that do a single point of damage?
It was -1 special attack. I don't know if they got I forget if they got multiple Spirit Breaks off, but resisted. I mean, Pecharunt is a tough Pokemon. There's a reason why Pokemon was so happy when he drafted it when he did.
Absolutely.
And a bargain.
That Pecharunt might as well just been healed from that Alluring Voice at this point. But opt to switch the Bramblegast in now as we see another curse come out. So all these Pokemon getting really, really whittled down from all this chip. I wonder if Chris actually has a way to consistently threaten out this Pecharunt and not let it back in.
Yes, I'll be honest. You think about when you play through Pokemon games and you face Pokemon that use Curse in game. It's kind of like a gimmick strat. But I think this is the most successful I've ever seen Curse be used in competitive.
Absolutely, as we see another round of Curse, and it's already down to 51% as the DrVr goes for the hard read on on the Bramblegast, going for a Tauros switch into a normal type and completely absorbing that Poltergeist. So now potentially in a position to threaten another really, really strong attack as Chris is going to be forced to switch out.
Pokemaster has been on a back foot this entire game, it seems like. DrVr hasn't lost a single Pokemon. His Pokemon have gotten shipped, but he's in a very strong position here.
Absolutely, and also even just catching the Slowking with that Throat Chop read. Unfortunately, not quite enough to catch it to a KO. As we know, Throat Chop does not have any major secondary effects, so I don't think it's Sheer Force boosted.
No, it is. Because it would remove the. It is because it would cut off the sound-based attacks, so it doesn't do that anymore and returning to Sheer Force boosted.
That's interesting. I did actually, obviously I knew that, but I didn't know that actually counted as an effect.
Yes, it does.
Sheer Force. That's cool.
Indeed. I've used Tauros myself recently in the draft leagues. That's the only reason why I know.
This Slowking, though, definitely seems to be built as kind of physically defensively, because it's taking these Throat Chops really, really well. Especially, we don't know the item choice on DrVr side, but it is might very well be Life Orb, as nearly going to take it down. They're down to 9 HP and trading it for a Psychic. So both Pokemon now at low health.
Yes, indeed. They do have the power of Regen on their side, but they're going to have to send something else in to take another attack.
Absolutely here. I think obviously Tauros does have the speed advantage. There's no priority on deck here, so let's see if Chris is going to opt to just let the Slowking go down. Excuse me, or if he wants to switch something else in.
It seems like the Tauros is just going to take out the Slowking here. So another Pokemon down for Pokemaster.
Absolutely. Gonna have to try and find a way back into this, but we do obviously have the Heracross still active, and I do actually love that. I do love how he goes into the Zoroark on the Tauros. They're pretending to be the Heracross, but obviously going to be revealing which Pokemon we're dealing with here after this attack comes off. But still, might catch DrVr switching into the wrong Pokemon here.
Yes, indeed. He needs something to get him back in the game here. He's down 2 Pokemon. This does seem a bit like an obvious play here, although I think DrVr knows that this probably isn't a Heracross. He's going to switch something else in just to take an attack. Or he could assume that it's Scarf.
Absolutely, U-turn will come off, and the Grimmsnarl War will go down. If now, it is a bug type, but if DrVr is a little bit astute, he will know that Heracross does not get U-turn despite being a bug type. So we'll not actually know from this point onward who is disguised as the Zoroark. But yeah, gonna see the Altaria switch now, and let's see how DrVr responds.
I wonder if how Heracross would be if it did get U-turn, if it would be any higher up in the Smogon tiers.
I think it might be, especially because like offensive bug types, they do like their pivoting. I do actually think that Heracross specifically, if you do spend a lot of your time pivoting out instead of just clicking like big Mega Horns in close combat, I mean you might be wasting your time, but it could still be very very strong for Scarf sets because those like running momentum moves.
Yes, indeed. So we have it in here. This is gonna be the big reveal, whether or not DrVr knows that this is the Zoroark, or if he gets caught off guard. And he does indeed switch.
Yep, does indeed switch in fear of a Dark Pulse here, as we do see the Phalanx come out, which is obviously going to be resistant to that, and not take a whole lot of damage there.
Yes, so this could be an opportunity for a big no retreat, and this is his Terra Captain, so not gonna lie, DrVr is in a very great position here. Pokemaster is really gonna have to figure out how to dig himself out of this hole.
Absolutely, especially because the Slowking, as we know, is actually gone, which would be the big fighting resistor on Chris's team. We do still have a Terra Fairy Altaria, which can still take it on, but we're going to see DrVr pop the Terra here. What Terra is going to be, it is going to be Terra Ghost as well. So let's see if they do end up going for that no retreat. Yes, indeed.
Yes, the only thing is, now they're weak to Dark Pulses from the Zoroark, so that's going to be interesting to see. We do have Cotton Guard on deck. Can it live an attack before this Phalanx starts going in, though?
If this Altaria is able to hang on, let's see. We do see the Terra Blast Ghost come out. Is it enough to take down the Altaria? No, it is not. And the Cotton Guard is going to give it a +3 defense. But now going to be a very, very big question mark whether or not this next Terra Blast will kill before the roost comes off. Let's see here.
1 HP survival!
1 HP survival as Altaria actually hangs on and is able to get off the roof. That is so unlucky for DrVr, but definitely what Chris needs. That means that the Phalanx is now mostly neutralized, and they're going to be able to get the roosts off. And also for those people who don't know why this thing actually switched out, DrVr very strategically chose Terra Ghost, so he's still able to switch out. As we know, Ghost types cannot be trapped, and that actually still works with no retreat.
Thank you for saying that, Scorp, because I completely forgot about that mechanic.
I'll be honest with you, I actually did not know that in the first place, so I'm very, very grateful that DrVr told me before, like when he picked up Phalanx and the Terra Ghost, even Strong got it now because of that.
Yes, and we continue to see the curse come into play here, but the Zoroark still is in a pretty good type matchup position, as now their fighting type is a ghost type. If they stay in with his Pecharunt, it's going down, so could be a turning point here. Pokemaster.
Absolutely, especially we do because we have that Scarf on deck. We have Scarf, Zoroark, Dark Pulse being quite a spammable move here, as we are actually going to see the Phalanx now being forced to be sacked off. Heracross, as we know, going to be with its very, very high special attack stat, scoring a KO on the Phalanx there. Heracross, wink, wink.
You would have thought that Curse would have gotten rid of the Disguise, but I guess since it's technically not an attack, the Disguise stays intact.
Yep, it's direct damage, but we are now going to see the Fortress coming out. Fortress is mostly definitely a physical wall rather than a special wall, so if Chris can continue to keep this up, we might very well see a comeback with this Zoroark here, as Dark Pulse is actually looking exceptional spammable from this point onward, as we're going to see an Ice Spinner come out, and that's going to take down the Bramblegast.
Yes, but they do have the Flamethrower coverage on deck. They stay in with the Fortress as they go for a Rapid Spin here, wanting to get rid of those rocks.
Absolutely. Might not have been expecting the Flamethrower, or perhaps making that trade-off to get rid of the rocks. There are still a lot of Pokemon on DrVr that might not appreciate taking a round of Stealth Rocks, especially if Chris is going for that Dark Pulse endgame. Would be very, very tough if you are able to live one, but you do get flinched.
Yes, and the Fortress goes down here. I know that the Tauros was probably whittled enough that it was in range of rocks, but I'm not sure if there was anything else that might not appreciate it.
Yep. Pecharunt now coming in, threatening a big Malignant Chain here, as Chris is actually going to opt to make the play now into his Assault Vest Heracross, which could actually take this on very, very well, as DrVr is going to go for recover now, getting his Pecharunt nice and healthy again. But I'm very, very interested to see how the dynamic is now going to go between these two, as I didn't quite get to see what ability this Heracross is. But if it is Guts, then poisoning it with Malignant Chain might not be the best move.
Yes, indeed, as we do see the mean look. So this Heracross is stuck.
Yep. Have we seen the fourth move from this Pecharunt yet? Wait, I believe we've seen Recover, we've seen Spite, and we've seen Mean Look. So what is its attacking move? Is it Malignant Chain or is it Shadow Ball?
Wait, Spite, Recover, Mean Look, Curse.
Oh, it's Curse. Oh, so it has no attacking moves.
No
oh, wow,
attacking
yeah, you're right.
moves on the Pecharunt.
That is a fire moveset, I gotta admit. That is looking exceptionally cool here. But unfortunately, definitely a little bit on the passive side. Let's see if it is actually able to take down this Heracross and whittle it down with Curse.
Throat Chop does have a decent chunk of TP, but I think he can only go for like 2 more of those before it gets cut off. So I don't think he's going to be able to 1v1 this thing. He's actually going to opt to save the Throat Chops here, not wanting them to get spited, trying to waste the recovers.
Dude, I love this Spite tech so much. It's actually making it really, really difficult, because as soon as Chris runs out of options to deal with this Heracross, like, he loses it pretty much for free. And as we know, the Min Luck is going to force it to stay in, which means it is never going to be able to escape. And Curse now has started on the Heracross, so it is being slowly whittled down. If this next Throw Shop does not kill, this might go down for free, as it indeed doesn't.
We've got the near 1 HP survival, just like the near 1 HP survival on the Altaria. As now this Heracross days are numbered.
Yep, absolutely. As we see a lot of clutch survivals in this game in general, but this Pecharunt, again, like, massive credit for coming up with this. This is absolutely fire tech. This is the moment where I revealed that I had not watched this game before.
This is Pokemon of the Week material right here, just for the people that do Pokemon of the Week. They're right here. This is your guy.
Absolutely, get the votes in. Get the votes in, folks.
Yes, I mean, the Heracross is going to go down, but they do still potentially have the Zoroark they could take it on.
Absolutely, as we are now going to see the
Tauros
being sacked off.
It was Intimidate the entire time. It wasn't even Sheer Force. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, me neither. Me and you both. But we're now going to see the Superior actually in a really, really strong position here. Obviously, Assault Vest Heracross might also be really, really efficient to take a Leaf Storm, even boost it, and take it out. But now that it's chipped so well by the Pecharunt, I think Pecharunt might be out of... Yep, exactly. I think Pecharunt might be out of Recover PP at this point, which is why it was switched out, or might have 1 left. But this could absolutely be a position for DrVr to really make Superior pop up. But unfortunately, going for the
Pin Missile
substitute. Yep, and the Pin Missile is going to be able to break that. So is Superior going to go down to it? Not quite, it seems, but 5 hits going to take him down way lower than the DrVr was hoping for. That was a big mistake.
Yes, people often forget this thing has Pin Missile. Its Mega Form has Skill Link. No loaded dice on this set. It just raw hit all 5.
Yep.
Altaria is going to come in, although it is the Zoroark.
Absolutely.
It's just the Pecharunt.
Yep, no Terra Fairy Crown. Let's see if this actually... I'm not really convinced DrVr is going to win this,
Yeah, I mean... I don't think that the Pecharunt is going to be able to 1v1 this Zoroark. It's just... because it's out of recovers, and it's hitting it on the special side, I think that Pokemaster might actually have this.
Absolutely, yes. We're going to see Dark Pulse come out with the Scarf. Normally, Superior faster than the Zoroark, but not in this situation, as Dark Pulse, one of the few moves on Chris's team left that can still really, really threaten this Pecharunt. So, definitely very, very smart from Chris to actually keep it around, knowing that, okay, I need my way to keep, to break through Pecharunt even in a late game scenario, so let me keep it around at all costs.
Yes, I think that the turn that decided that was going for that sub, I think that they knew that it was going to die to Curse the next turn anyway, so trying to get off a sub to take on the rest of his team, but unfortunately, Pokemaster had the Pin Missile, it saved him.
Absolutely, if he had Mega Horn on deck there, and especially if that would have missed, that would have put Superior in an extremely strong position, might have won the game, but Chris actually coming on top now because of that, and going for a nice Scarf Zoroark endgame. As I said before, Dark Pulse very, very smart in this matchup, and yep, the endgame came out as we predicted.
Yes, indeed. So GG's to Pokemaster and DrVr. Very close 2-0 victory there. Alright, so we're here with Al versus B-Nard. We've got the Choice Specs Moltres on deck, as well as Eject Pack Hitmonchan. I wonder what he's cooking here.
Absolutely, definitely. We do also see actually, we do see the Probopass, I believe, come off the bench for B-Nard for the first time, and once again the Galarian, Weezing, and Hawlucha are there. So let's see if it is unburdened or not. But definitely excited for this iconic rivalry. Obviously, B-Nard being the person that brought Al into the BHDL, and now they are facing off here once again with their epic rivalry.
Yes, indeed. I think that this game has even higher stakes. I think there was something going on with Skyla or something like that. I can't remember all the details, but a lot riding on this game for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I can tell you the details right now here, brother. As we know, Al, a very big admirer of Skyla, and B-Nard ruined Skyla, or at least a picture of her, by putting Joey Fontaine's face on her image, which means that Al is going to be pissed and trying to get revenge for his waifu here.
Very interesting indeed. We do see a strong flamethrower come off on this Trevin. It does over half.
So Citrus Berry is going to pop immediately, and we might actually also see the Harvest as a big Poltergeist. Both sides are actually Citrus Berry here, interestingly enough, as a Poltergeist not quite going to put it in range where the Citrus Berry is going to proc for the Electros. And we do indeed instantly see the Harvest on this Trevenant, so this is actually a very, very good position for B-Nard right off the bat.
Yes, this takes me back to my early days of XY facing Substitute Leech Seed Harvest in the Sun Trevenant.
See, it's a shame too, because actually I'm quite fond of Trevenant as a Pokemon. Like offensively, it hits really, really hard with Poltergeist and Woodhammer, but now going to see it switched out into the what I'm assuming is Assault Vest Incineroar, and for now threatening a big knockoff on these Electros.
Yes, indeed. If we can knock it off and prevent its Citrus Berry from going off, that's going to be great. As yet, almost takes it down.
Indeed, I don't actually sure what the speed tiers here are, but if Al did speed creep this Incineroar, that's very, very tough. Actually lives the knockoff as well, and as we could see, that Super Fang taking this Incineroar right down, which could be difficult, because that AV, like I said, if it is Assault Vest Incineroar, which I'm expecting it will be, that is actually B-Nard's primary switch into that Specs Moltres, so that opens up the door a lot.
Yes, now it's down to less than 25% essentially, as the Electros is down, as he's going to switch out here. But, you know, having one of your walls there that chipped that early, that's very good positioning for Al.
Absolutely, Moltres could absolutely come through here. Those Specs, Hurricanes, Air Slashes, Flamethrowers, whatever he's going to deck, and really, really sting, as B-Nard's going to opt to KO the Electros with a U-turn, and is now actually going to be forced to switch first and giving Al the advantage. So we're going to see the Terra Captain come out, the Probopass. Let's see how Al responds.
Yes, Mustachio is in. They're really weighing their options here. They obviously have the 4 times fighting super effective move. But the thing is, they can Terra. So perhaps here he's trying to bait out the Terra. Could potentially switch out. Oh, I get it now. Close Combat Eject Pack. Of course, Scorp. How could I have not seen it?
Absolutely, very genius tech here from Al. It actually does allow him to potentially go for a close combat and scout very, very safely, but now going to go for a knockoff. Could potentially be very, very good here, as this Probopass is pretty much going to be forced to Terra or switch out, and knockoff gets you progress either way.
Yes, is going to switch out there. Probably not wanting to pop off the Terra quite yet into Galarian Weezing, who is indeed Misty Surge this week for the Hawlucha.
Yep, I think that's actually might be the first time we've ever seen that. And Hawlucha, as we can see in this game, I mean, there are a few walls that could take it on, but especially if Moltres is offensive, you know, if you can get the chip on Yuxi, then Hawlucha could start going in.
Yes, indeed. You just have to be careful. You don't want to get a Flame Body off from the Moltres when the Hawlucha starts going in.
Absolutely, as we are now going to see the Whiscash come in. It's going to take a nice big Strange Team from a critical hit. Now, unfortunately for B-Nard, the Misty Surge on Galarian Weezing, funnily enough, does prevent this Whiscash from getting confused there, potentially. And we do also have a ground move potentially being threatened as well, because it is not Levitate. So this could be a nice opportunity for Al to start getting up some hazards.
Yes, Whiscash is one of those Pokemon that really benefited in Gen 9 from it. They just decided, you know what, let's just give them all the hazards. Let's give them Stealth Rocks, let's give them Spikes. Same with Gastrodon and Quagsire.
Absolutely. So many of these monsters got spikes this generation. It's actually very, very interesting. Garchomp obviously got spikes as well. This is a very, very widely distributed move this gen. As going to be able to get up the Incineroar now, as a Lego Spikes does indeed go up, so not going to go unpunished. And now I'm actually very curious to see if this Whiscash will outspeed this Incineroar before, or if it is able to get off a knockoff before going down.
Yes, and indeed it was. Owl has done a pretty good job of speed creeping their Pokemon. I'm not exactly sure about the speed tiers, but I feel like they're fairly close here.
Absolutely here, as Whiscash is going to be able to get the advantage and is going to knock down the Incineroar as it is being stacked off and also getting a big layer of spikes up. But now, B-Nard, of course, getting a free switch in as the Trevenant now comes back in and threatens a big Poltergeist as we see no more Ghost switch-ins left on Al's side.
Yes, they do have an Eviolite Duraludon, but you know, it doesn't have, I don't think its Spadef is quite as good even with the Eviolite.
No, it absolutely isn't. And this Trevenant, again, still quite healthy and also having that Citrus Berry back from its harvest. So we're going to see what it wants to do here. It is going to go attack into the Duraludon as we do indeed see Poltergeist. Yep, very, very safe play, very, very free play.
Yes.
Actually doing some respectable damage as well.
Yes, but thankfully, because this Trevenant is physically offensive, it's able to eat that with its pretty good Fizz Def. And now it's setting a very powerful Draco Meteor.
Absolutely. We do also see the Dragon Tail tech potentially on Duraludon as well, which I really, really like because it basically forces the Hawlucha out if it ever tries to set up on this Duraludon, especially now that the Draco Meteor will pick off the KO on Trevenant. And again, if the Misty Surge were up right now, this could be a prime opportunity for B-Nard to set up that Hawlucha, but because of Dragon Tail, I would deny it completely.
Yes, indeed. The Misty Surge, if it was still up, would have been weakening the Dragon type move. So thankfully for Al, he's able to get it off there.
Absolutely big Draco Meteor KO there, and we're going to see what B-Nard wants to come in now, as he is going to switch in with the Probopass, which should be quite safe here. I mean, obviously, Al does threaten a 4-up super effective body price, but this thing, as we know, is a Terra Captain, so probably going to be forced to switch out now.
Yes, I'm wondering if it's Magnet Pull or not. We'll see if he's able to make a switch here. Or he could potentially just be Sturdy.
Absolutely. That's actually a really, really interesting call there. I kind of forgot about Probopass potentially having Magnet Pull, but that actually could keep this Duraludon in. But as you can see, it's not Magnet Pull. It's not Magnet Pull. Nope, Al is able to switch out free. I wonder if B-Nard considered that. Might have been potentially worth it, but again, that Sturdy could come in clutch in quite a few different ways as well. As now Probopass going to ditch its typing to Terastallize into Flying, and immediately flipping the script on this Hitmonchan that just hit the field.
Yes, indeed. As now, the Hitmonchan is not going to be able to hit this Probopass with too much. They're just going to try to spin these hazards away. Obviously, the Moltres does not have boots, so you don't want the rocks up for the Moltres.
Yeah, absolutely. You need these rocks off the field. But can I just say, Hitmonchan's like idle animation when we're watching double speed is absolutely hilarious.
Yes, it's got those fast twitch muscles. It's just moving back and forth so fast. Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
So we're going to see the Volt Switch back into the Galarian Weezing. This Galarian Weezing actually pretty difficult to take down with this Hitmonchan. As we can see, it pretty much walls it completely. So let's see if Al actually tries to make the aggressive switch of going into a Moltres. He does indeed make that play. If this does go right, Al can potentially get in a position to fire off a Specs hit, and indeed it does.
Oof, but because he is off of the ground, the confusion does actually come through. That's not affected by the terrain.
Absolutely here. Now going to threaten a big Fire Blast, but if this Moltres does hit itself in confusion, this could potentially be very, very rough, because any chip you take on this Moltres is going to whittle it down further and further, and this is one of the few things you need weakened for Hawlucha to come through later.
Oof, and the confusion does come through as we see. Oh, look at that.
Oh my god, and then the nice little edit as well. This is why we're watching from Al's side this week. That was a very, very nice edit, and Weezing to be able to get a very, very big Thunderbolt offer. I think the coverage for the on deck actually very, very nicely paired from B-Nard, and you know, willing to risk his Weezing on the Fire Blast. I mean, obviously he doesn't know that it's Specs, but yeah, very, very big hit there. Moltres almost dead. Could potentially go down to another confusion hit.
Yes, back whenever the Gen 1 Pokemon, they just were like, you know what, you can get Thunderbolt, you know what, why not? I don't know why Nidoking or this guy get these moves, but they do.
Absolutely, as we do see actually a Specs Fire Blast come out, and that is actually going to kill the Weezing, so it seems clear to me that B-Nard was not quite expecting the Specs on Moltres, or like that level of damage. So with the Misty Surge that are down now, it is actually going to be now or never for the Hawlucha.
Yes, as Moltres appears to be glitching my screen here, but it's still in with a Choice Specs attack. Although it is weakened, Rey Mysterio does come in, as long as you don't get burned, because obviously it is a flying type, so I don't think it's affected by the terrain either, in that sense,
nope.
But could get a strong attack off.
How much do you reckon this Fire Blast does? Because obviously it is Choice Specs, and this Moltres seems to be offensively invested, but he does actually have the special defense boost from the Misty Seed. Yep.
If I had to guess, 95%.
Just out of KO rates, as we do see Hawlucha going for, I'm not sure what move that was. It
I
might have
think that
been
was
Rock
Rock
Slide.
Slide.
Yep,
That
I
was
think
good
Rock
tech.
Slide.
No, makes no contact, so you know no fear of the burn. So great prep there by B-Nard.
Absolutely 90% accurate, is able to dispatch the monsters effortlessly. But now, unfortunately, what I was afraid of this whole battle, this Yuxi completely full health still in against this Hawlucha, which I don't think it's gonna be able to do much.
Oof, this is tough. Yeah, you know, it doesn't have the best. I think it only has Throat Chop really to hit Psychic type, so
Yep.
he could try to SD. I mean, he goes for Acro, but let's see how much this does. Yeah, I think he should have SD'd.
Yep, probably. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure if it would
Although
have mattered
it's
much
plus
because this.
one,
Yep,
so
this
it would have
mystical power, I
the
think, is
next one
actually going to
kills.
two-shot. Yeah.
Yeah, so tough position here for B-Nard. I mean, obviously, Hawlucha, I believe, is his #1 priced Pokemon, right? So putting it
Yep.
all on Hawlucha, but the fact is that even in these lower tiers, I'm surprised there's a lot of threats that can manage to stop wall this Hawlucha.
Yep. Well, the funny thing is, I've said it before and I'll say it again, Hawlucha's attack stat for all of its turn actually not that high, and thank God it isn't, because that fighting flying combat is exceedingly scary. But now, as we can see, I love the mystical power, dude. These Pokemon, Yuxi, Azelf, and Mesprit actually got this move in Generation 9, and even courtesy of the special defense boost, still able to get the two-shot on the Hawlucha there and taking it out with strength to spare.
Yes, indeed. But he did manage to chip the Uxie down quite a bit, so good play on, they're just going for Acro twice and getting consistent damage, as it's in range now of the Shadow Ball from the Jolteon. I don't think that crit matters.
Nope, absolutely not. See, this weakening this Yuxi could potentially be part of the game plan, or at least, it could help you further down the line, because it is one of Owl's primary walls, as we see now. The more expensive Pokemon on Owl's side have faded. I believe all of these remaining Pokemon cost less than 10 points.
Yes, indeed. Although usually I think B-Nard has been running choice specs pretty much every time, so yeah, I'm gonna switch out there. Gonna want to get the Thunderbolt in later.
Yep, as he goes for the close combat, and this is where that eject pack is going to really come in clutch. There's no reason not to go for close combat there, because even if you get the read wrong and Probopass comes in, you get a completely free switch into something else here out of the Terra Flying Probopass.
Yes, indeed, and something else. I mean, Hitmonchan, weirdly enough, I don't know why, it has pretty decent special defense, so it should be able to 1v1 the Jolteon pretty easily later.
Absolutely, in a close combat, absolutely going to be enough to take it out. Al deciding what to switch in now, and it is going to be the Duraludon. Obviously, this one is still quite strong on the special side, offensively anyway, and Probopass, as we know, mostly a physical attacker, and also does not have reliable recovery. So we're going to see a nice 1v1 between these two here, as they both are going to try and flash counter each other to death.
Apparently, this Probopass does not have coverage for this Duraludon, unfortunately.
Absolutely. I mean, body price could have been strong, but I feel like this Probopass has a bit of 4 moveslot syndrome in this game, so I do not blame B-Nard whatsoever for not having it. But yeah, definitely a tough position to be in, because once Probopass goes down, it is going to be all up to Jolteon, if I remember correctly.
Yes, indeed. Duraludon is at -2, but I think that Draco is still going to do a lot to this Jolteon here.
Yep. As we do see the Probopass go down, Draco Meter is enough to take it out. Jolteon going to be forced to hit the field and take another round of Stealth Rocks. Let's see if it is able to break through this Duraludon here. Choice Spec's Alluring Voice not going to be enough to take it out, as a body press nearly puts it in range, but now that obviously confirms to Al what this thing is locked into. So unless he gets multiple crits back to back, he can seal the game right now with a nice 3-0.
Yes, indeed. Goes to the Alluring Voice. Yeah, he couldn't lock himself in a Thunderbolt because there was still that Wish Cache in the back. So we'll see what's going to happen here.
Absolutely, Earthquake's going to come off here, and we'll see if this Alluring Voice obviously does not have any secondary effects that could potentially confuse it. So another Alluring Voice, no crits, is going to be enough, or it's not going to be enough, sorry, to take down the Wish Cache. Another Earthquake will seal the deal. Actually, GG to both sides there. Really well played game, but yeah, definitely I think Al's superior prep with a few of the speed creeps and getting the walls, keeping his own walls healthy while crippling B-Nards definitely put him ahead of here. But yeah, GG's to both sides.
Yes, indeed. Great game. GG's. All right, so we're here with Danger Dave versus Zeus. Danger Dave currently has not gotten a win yet, so he's really trying to get one here. As we see the Mirror Herb tech on the Raikou here and the Thwacky as well. What are we thinking here, Score?
I'm honestly looking at Zeus's team. I'm a little bit curious as to what that mirror herb was for. I mean, I haven't actually watched this game yet, but maybe there was a reason. Maybe it's explained in the commentary. If that is the case, I cannot really hear it right now. I do apologize. Interesting thing from Zeus here, though, he did not bring the Empoleon against the Rain team, though. So, I mean, obviously,
Well, you
Barraskewda
know
can
what
pick it
else
off
is
in close
interesting here,
combat.
Scorp? There's no
Oh, come on.
Politoed here either.
Oh, I didn't even clock that. Okay, well, I mean, Barraskewda
We're
is still
running
obviously quite
Damp Rock Registeel.
Wow, we're really coming in with the text here. All right, let's see how this goes. Definitely, like it makes me excited almost just from team preview onwards. Let's see, as we do actually see the Thwacky lead into the Cleavor. This Cleavor either going to be in a position to fire off a powerful Stone Axe, get those rocks up, or just a clean, cold one-hit kill with a sharpness boosted X Scissor.
Yes, gonna go for the Grassy Glide. Not do much damage there, as X Scissor just immediately takes out this poor Thwacky.
Yep, Cleavor has that massive attack set and sharpness on deck as well. So Axizor actually hits really freaking hard from it. As we can see, clearly one-shotting the Violet Thwacky here. So turn one already, unfortunately for Danger Dave. Cleavor scoring a nice KO here and gonna be knocked down to 5.
Yeah, so Danger Dave is basically playing a 5-mon game here, as Registeel comes in, and this is their way of setting up the rain.
Absolutely, yes. We do obviously see the Damp Rock Rain Dance tech on the Registeel here, and they're going to be going into the Palace Center. Let's see if both hazards go up now from both sides.
Yes, they have the Bombardier, who is Scarf, it would seem, and gonna see what happens here.
They're going to go into said Bombardier now. Does actually resist / is immune to both of these things stats. Obviously, Dark Flying, very, very solid typing here, as we do indeed see an Earth Power come out from Zeus. So very, very good switch here. And now Scarf Bombardier in a nice position to fire off a knockoff or keep up that momentum.
Yes, I think Danger Dave is really going to have to try to, like I said, he needs to get himself back into this game. So I think playing a bit more offensively here and keeping up that momentum, like you said, is going to help Mirror.
Absolutely, stay hydrated, gamers. As we do see the Palossand switch out. I'm going to go into the Skuntank, which I think is a pretty good switch, as we do see the potting shot come out as well. So going to keep the offensive momentum. Great play by Danger Dave. And now going to be able to threaten out this Skuntank with a nice big hitter. As we see, we do also have the Choice Band Barraskewda despite no rain, which I'm a big believer of.
Yes, very powerful, as now we're going to have the rain set here. They go for the rain dance. Rich still eating it up. You know, Skuntank, while it does have that special coverage, it's not the strongest special attacker.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to see the Rain Dance come up, and that's also going to weaken the Fire Blast to allow the Registeel to potentially last even longer against the Skuntank, so they can't really do anything. And this could potentially be your opportunity to get the Barraskewda in or the Raikou here. Sadly, it does not have Thunder, but could still very much take advantage of it.
Yes, it makes sense. You know, you don't have this guaranteed way of getting up the rain, so, you know, safe Thunderbolt makes sense, but now we're going to start Calm Minding up.
Absolutely, here as with Skuntank is going to be withdrawn, and Paladin's going to come in again. Now, this thing could obviously have water compaction, but that does not give it a water immunity, so this thing could potentially muscle through it with a nice little rain boosted Scald here.
Yes, and as you can see here, he's given us the tech. So the Mirror Herb, in theory, if, let's say, this Palossand somehow lives, Raikou would get +3 defense, but unfortunately, it just goes down.
Yep, Scald absolutely going to be able to claim the kill here. Actually, really cool and thought out tech from Danger Dave there. Really big fan of that, but unfortunately the plan worked a bit too well, as it is immediately able to take out the Skuntank with that Scald.
Yeah, so perhaps the Mirror Herb could come through on something else. We'll see. Gets powerful Volt Switch off on the Hitmontop and able to switch out, get something else in.
Yep, I believe that was +1 Volt Switch down. I'm wondering if that is Assault Vest Hitmontop.
It does appear to be Assault Vest. It is a pretty standard set. As a good play here, bringing in the Ghost type to spin block.
Absolutely, here able to get the able to just keep the hazards up, and now actually in a prime position to start coming out. I do know Hitmontop does get triple axle and does go for it, but unfortunately misses.
Oh, that's tough. That is tough. It does have the Strength Sap on deck to reduce its attack here. And based on that triple axle damage, I think even if the last one hit, in theory, I think they would have been able to Strength Sap and get it all back.
Strength Sap, in my opinion, absolutely broken move, and I think this Hitmontop is simply not quite packed to deal with this Sinistcha, especially because Machagotch is going to heal it back up even further. So Zeus absolutely going to be forced to switch, and now bringing in this Skuntank to hopefully slow this Sinistcha down before it gets out of hand.
That did a lot. I didn't think that Machagotch was going to do that much.
Absolutely, it's funny because Sinistcha actually got quite a few broken tools at its disposal. Let's see if it is actually able to muscle its way through this Skuntank. As Dark Pulse still actually going to outspeed and try and whittle it down, but not quite getting the flinch. And now Strength Step putting it all the way back up to full. Dude,
Yes.
Emerald, I don't know about you, but Strength Step is so broken, in my opinion.
It is a busted move. I
busted.
loved using it on Drifblim, honestly. You know, I remember season 2 of BHL, I kind of talked down Sinistcha. I think in these lower tiers, I think it's really able to pop off. As we're getting all these flinches here on this Registeel is not able to get off a Rain Dance. But
No, I mean,
is able to survive and get at the Rain Dance for 8 more turns.
Okay, I was almost getting like hard flashbacks from Season 5 quarterfinals where we were on this same beach and I got flinched 3 times in a row.
Oof. But thankfully was able to get it off.
Yep, able to get the Rain up last turn, not getting flinched 3 times in a row, luckily, as Danger Dave now finding the position to both get up the Rain and put the Bombardier back in position. So I think he's definitely found a bit of momentum back here. Let's see what he does with it.
Yes, they do have the potential for the Brave. Oh, they have Terra Blast Water, which in the rain hits
so
everything.
That's actually so cool, dude. I am loving Danger Dave's text this battle, honestly, with all the manual rain absolutely working out. And we do see the Terra Blast Water now come out on this Skuntank. Let's see if it actually scores the KO here in the rain.
Terra Rain boosted. Scarf Skuntank, I guess, because they outsped the Scarf Bombardier as it does go down. I don't think that crit mattered.
I don't think that crit mattered either, but Scarf Skuntank is absolutely fire. I was not expecting that either, I gotta say. But now, Cleaver going to find its way back into the battle, and that must scream that thing is Scarf as well. Again, I'm not sure about the speed use here, but if that thing can get up with another Stone Axe, could be very, very powerful. But nope, it is going to get outsped, and a Terra Blast going to come off. And that kind of reveals that Zeus was not expecting. Yeah, no, it was like Zeus was not expecting it because his Skuntank was also Scarf. So that kind of hit the Scarf from Danger Dave really, really well.
Yes, indeed. Hitmontop is back in, but guess what? They've got the Sinistcha, who, as we've seen, can 1v1 this Hitmontop with Strength Sap.
Absolutely. So just going to find its way back in. You got to wonder if Zeus is actually going to predict this and go for the triple axle right away. But even if it does, I'm not sure if it can muscle its way through. I mean, we saw how little it took before.
We saw I can take one triple axle and Strength Sap and go back. Goes for Rapid Spin and is able to spin block it once again. These rocks have been doing consistent damage to Zeus's team.
Yep, Zeus absolutely just desperate to keep these rocks off, but Danger Dave absolutely not letting it happen. And I believe he's up 5-3 now, really clawing his way back.
If you'll recall, Danger Dave started this off with 5 Pokemon, essentially, because the Thwack. He still has those 5 Pokemon, and he's taken 3 off of Zeus.
Absolutely, and I gotta say, I absolutely love this play too, because he's doubling out into the Choice Band Barraskewda as he knows that this Hitmontop is going to be forced out, and now this thing is prime position to fire off a rain-boosted water attack. This is excellent positioning from Danger Dave.
Excellent, as now we have the Liquidation on deck. Let's see, it is going to go into the Hitmontop, but even after the Intimidate, it is easily going to be in range of this Liquidation.
Still going to be neutral, obviously, and Liquidation easily going to be enough to take it out. This is what we wanted to see from Danger Dave's Barraskewda when he drafted it round 1 of the league. And I don't know if Sylveon can take this, even at neutral, because this thing's defense is not the best.
Yes, it has been successfully chipped by the rocks. Let's see. It takes it pretty well. That might be Fizz Def.
Ooh, that must be Fizz Def Sylveon.
With Absorb Bulb.
Absorb Bulb tech coming out from Zeus, and that takes out the Barraskewda. Now, unfortunately, Barraskewda is very, very fail, so I think that Hyper Voice would have killed anyway. But that's a sick tech from Zeus for sure. These coaches are cooking.
Yes, indeed. Some fire games here, but thankfully they do have the Scarf Bombardier in the back who can throw off a Terra Blast. But Scorp,
absolutely, even without... Sorry, go on.
Do you know who his last Pokemon is?
Is it the... No, it's not Cleaver, because that thing went down.
Who haven't we seen this whole game score?
I'm having a bit of... Oh, the Luxray. Ooh, the kill leader from Zeus's team, the Fire Gods of Anubis. Let's see if Luxray can get the 4-0 comeback here.
Yes, this Luxray has become infamous in this draft league at this point, especially after that week 1 versus Aprater. He goes for the agility. This is looking scary.
This is looking scary. This Luxray is on a declaration of war to beat my Lunala score, and ladies and gentlemen, you know what? We're seeing the comeback.
Ooh, he is able to tank the crunch. It gets the Strength Sap ups. This is where the Strength Sap, the broken move that it is, might be able to defeat this Luxray.
Oh, this is tough for Zeus, because that crunch should have really killed, but it was still at full health, and now it's not even two-shotting anymore. And yeah, it doesn't have any way to... It's just like, as you can see from the cat, Danger Dave almost getting a bit cocky there, knowing that this Luxray is not going to be able to muscle its way through this Sinistcha, and going to be able to whittle it down and take it out for a potential 4-0 victory here.
Ooh, it's so close. Victory is just within Danger Dave's grasp here. Just one more Shadow Ball and he wins.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think a crunch would have done it. Oh, never mind. A critical hit is actually enough. I was thinking, I was about to say, even if this crunch crit, I don't think it kills. But nope, because of the attack drops, obviously also being negated by that, Luxray actually coming through here. I'm losing my mind. Are we actually still going to see a comeback here when it's this low?
Ooh, I don't. I think that this is a bit of Danger Dave being flustered here because Registeel has no business coming in here. The thing that is their saving grace is that they have a Raikou, which is relatively healthy.
Absolutely. The bear skew obviously going down here. As we can see, the calculations are up on the screen. The panic mode is real. This Luxray, is it going to be able to finish off this match here? Because the agility, again, there's no outspeeding it, so your Pokemon are going to have to take a hit. Crunch comes off and takes down Registeel. Oh, dude, and I don't think 2 rounds of burn. He needs 3 more rounds of burn. Does he have it?
Well, but the thing is, remember, the Luxray is at -2, so I think barring a crit here, I think he could have it.
Absolutely, here as we're going to see Raikou come out. It is still nice and healthy. Facade is going to come off and not, unfortunately, quite enough. Danger Dave sighing in relief as it takes out Luxray with a skull. The superior electric cat here taking it out. And yeah, GG's to both sides. That was fire. And yeah, big congrats to Danger Dave for a well-earned victory.
Absolutely, his first win in the BHDL. Love to see it. All right, so we're here with Lazyboi versus H.I.M. Lazyboi is one of the coaches here that is undefeated still. So let's see if they can continue to keep that here. We've got the AV Crocodile, one of the top Pokemon in the league. They've also got mons like the Clear Amulet Gallade for that Tauros. What are you thinking here, Scorp?
Absolutely. Here we actually see quite a balanced team from HIM. So we do see the Eviolite Dusclops, and we also see the Avalog coming off the bench for the first time as well, which is not a Terra Captain, I believe. So let's see if that is actually able to put in some work here. But also got the Magnezone on deck, and I believe this is another game where HIM did bring both the Tauros and the Gyarados, which are very, very big threats in this matchup, I feel.
Yes, indeed. Obviously threatening a strong Flare Blitz potentially from Lazyboi side, but wanting to switch out because I think they've seen that they've run sturdy on this Magnezone before. Want to get the safe switch out here.
No, there's that. But Emerald, if I'm being brutally honest with you, I think in that matchup, Talonflame Magnezone, it is actually Talonflame that should be the one that's scared, because Magnezone has good bulk, and Talonflame's attack stat is not the highest, so it is easily probably able to take a fire move and just retaliate right back with the Thunderbolt. So Lazyboi making the correct play of absorbing that said Thunderbolt with the Assault Vest Crocodile here.
Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, HIM did not get the read here. A Volt switches hard into a Crocodile as Avalog comes in on the knock.
Absolutely. Going to be forced to remove its heavy-duty boots, so that's going to be very, very tough. We'll see if Lazyboi is able to get up some Rock Slide on the field, because I believe Avalog is HIM's only spinner this week. Yep, they did leave the Sandslide at home, so if Lazyboi can find the opportunity to get them out, that would be huge. Going to go right into the Orphalum here. It could potentially be threatened by a body price, but all these Pokemon have astronomical defense, so going to be an interesting dynamic here.
Yes, indeed. A lot of bulky Pokemon over there as this Avalog is going to switch.
Yep, Dusclops going to come out here. Going to frisk the Orphalum's Rocky Helmet, so a potential body press war between the two could definitely end in disaster for HIM there, because his one's going to be slowly chipped down, as we do indeed see the rocks now go up. So unless HIM is able to remove those, which again is going to be very tough with that Avalog without its boots, I think Lazyboi is already off to a flying start here.
Yes, Lazyboi has been doing a lot of basically just hyper offense. They've got they're setting up all their hazards. They've got the screens, and then they've got sharpness boosted Gallade to just start. Oh, we get a communication error.
Shout out to both of our coaches for being able to immediately remedy it and get back into the game here. Luckily, not much had happened at this point. It seems like a pretty easy game to recreate.
Yeah, luckily no crits or statuses to recreate.
Yep, gonna find a Will-O-Wisp on this Meowstic here. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this Meowstic a Terra Captain?
It is indeed a Terra Captain. It is going to go for the Terra Dark right now, it would seem.
All right, does have Terra Dark on deck, and it is going to be another screens Meowstic here. I wonder if HIM is going to be able to respond to this, because he does have definitely the longevity at least to stall these screens out, but makes you wonder if Lazyboi is going to use these screens now to find a position to get that Gallade in and start doing some work. As Icy Wind interestingly going to find its way. I'm not sure what the point of that was, because obviously this is Prankster Meowstic, I assume, but...
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but perhaps if he's going for let's say an attack on the Meowstic, then he could outspeed it potentially. But Terra Fighting pops off in the Dusclops, as we do see the Yawn.
Absolutely, it's going to go for a Terra Fighting boosted Break here, and actually able to get rid of the screen. So that is why H.I.M switched into the Dusclops there, which I absolutely love to see. Now, unfortunately, you're going to be weak to this thing Stab Psychic moves, but I really love the tech there from H.I.M to be a complete counter to this Meowstic. I really thought that Lazyboi was just going to get away against this passivity of this Dusclops and getting screens up for free, but nope, I was severely mistaken.
Yes, and now Dragalge is in, and they set the wrong screen, it would seem, because now they are free to potentially drop a Draco or do something else.
Gonna go for a Psychic here, as unfortunately Draco Meteor misses. That is mighty unfortunate, as Lazyboi is just continuing to chip this thing down with Stab Psychics, as well as now opting to go for the Light Screen.
Yes, I do believe that is actually an AV Dragalge, so I'm surprised it did that much, because usually Dragalge is a lot more Spadef. But, I guess Meowstic has a, Stab Psychic hits decently hard.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to be forced to switch into the Magnezone here, as both screens will go up. This Meowstic is definitely on Dev's door, but it absolutely did what it needed to do. And now Lazyboi can find another good position to get something in, and it isn't going to be the Crocodile.
Yes, they have an AV Crocodile to just wall this Magnezone. Let's see if they can. They do go for the Flash Cannon, but with AV and Light Screen, it's just going to eat that up for breakfast.
Absolutely. Going to be eating that up very much so. And Lazyboi, now knowing that this Magnezone is going to be forced out. Going to go for the Stone Edge here, predicting the switch into the Avalok. Still not doing a whole lot, funnily enough, because that thing's Titanic Bulk, but you are absolutely forcing chip on that thing and potentially making H.I.M go for a Recover.
Yes, forcing them to use up their recovers, as... Oh, actually goes for the Rapid Spin, so great play on Lazyboi bringing a Spin Blocker.
Absolutely, as we did see before, H.I.M kind of in a position where he really wants to get those rocks off the field again, because now those heavy duty boots have been removed. But Lazyboi finding that position with the Spin Blocker, and now also getting a burn on this Avalok. This thing is going to be really difficult to use from this point onward.
Yes, it's basically just there if you can try to find a way, if you can get rid of this Graveyard at some point, and or Houndstone rather, you can get off the rocks.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a bit of a slow-paced game at the moment. Both sides kind of just feeling each other out, trying to get your hazard, trying to get your positioning right, as we do see the walls kind of interchanging hits here. Frisk once again kind of come off against the obvious Rocky Helmet, but Reflect now gone, so the screens are slowly going to fade. I wonder if Lazyboi's going to be able to find an opportunity to get those back up, because he's just stacking those hazards. But again, I really feel like once the hazards and the screens are up, you're going to go in, right? But you need to get those up first, and now Break going to get rid of Light Screen as well.
Yes, not doing a whole lot of damage to this Earthworm, but thankfully the silver lining here is that it does not have any recover. There's no leftovers. So whatever chip you get on Earthworm is permanent.
Absolutely. Although it is also true for both sides here, because this Dusclops also does not have recovery after the Pain Split. And as we do see, even though it is punishing the screens with that Terra Fighting boosted Break, it is forced to take Rocky Helmet chip every single time it attacks into the Earthworm.
Yes, and now this Avalok is taking not only rocks, but spikes as well, as already back down to half with the burn.
Absolutely. Talonflame going to be forced to go into the U-turn here. Lazyboi more than likely going to switch right back into the Houndstone. Again, not allowing H.I.M that spin. Let's see if we do see another desperate spin attempt come out. But nope, it isn't. He's still going to be the Recover. So H.I.M still valiantly trying to fight back, just trying to get this Avalok to stay in the game long enough to outlast this Houndstone. But I'm not sure if it's going to happen.
They haven't been able to get any damage off on this thing yet. Let's see if they can. They try to go for Avalanche, but with the Fluffy and the burn just doing absolutely nothing.
Yep, and even though it did hit it with Nightshade, that was full power Nightshade, mind you, but still just not doing anywhere near enough. Again, I'm very much convinced that even though this Avalok has recovery and the Houndstone does not, I'm very much convinced that Houndstone is going to win this war of attrition eventually.
Absolutely. Magnezone comes in, takes more hazards chip, and the Body Press now almost taking it out.
Yep, great play from Lazyboi there. Obviously, Nightshade wouldn't have done anywhere nearly as much, but kind of doing the same damage against the Avalok anyway. So at that point, you might as well go for that Body Press indeed to punish this switch in, and still that AV Crocodile completely healthy. So even if H.I.M does potentially have a Body Press, it can't really do much, but it does go for a Custap Berry Volt Switch. So I'm gonna be honest, I was not expecting Magnezone to survive that turn, but it turns out it is.
Yes, it seems that the Custap Berry Magnezone carry over from last week, and now has gotten a good chunk of damage off on this Houndstone here. But if they can't get rid of those hazards, the Magnezone is dead on switch in.
Here we do absolutely see though the hazards on H.I.M side, that Lazyboi setup really started to take a toll now, and on top of all the Nightshade chip and everything, Lazyboi is absolutely getting things weakened and is definitely setting up for some kind of end game here. What are you thinking about that, Emerald? What do you think his game plan is here?
Yeah, I mean, he does have the Gyarados in the back. That's kind of his win con at this point. If he can find a way to get it in and get a Dragon Dance off, could potentially do something.
Absolutely here, but as I kind of alluded to earlier, I do believe Lazyboi is trying to set up for maybe a Crocodile or a Gallade endgame here, and we have also seen before that this Gallade is Clear Amulet, so even Intimidate from the Gyarados is not going to do much. Now H.I.M going to take the opportunity to go for a Dragon Dance in front of this Houndstone, but unfortunately finds itself getting burned. It does have the Lumberry on deck, but I'm not convinced that this Houndstone is going to go down to this waterfall.
I don't think it is either, but it does have the chance to flinch, and I think that at this point, that is what H.I.M is going to have to go for.
Absolutely, as we're going to see the safe play from Lazyboi there, which I absolutely agree with. Going to go sack off the Meowstic now, which is on Dev's door, and we do see the Waterfall indeed come out. No crunch, that could have potentially done even more, but Meowstic is going to go down and out, knocking Lazyboi down to 5 Pokemon. They're going to have to deal with this Dragon Dance boosted Gyarados now.
Yes, this is where I think that Moxie could have come in better for H.I.M. Obviously, Intimidate can be solid, but with the Moxie, that's what you can really use to kind of spiral out of control and snowball.
Absolutely, Waterfall going to come off. Not actually going to be able to get it to a kill on the Orthman. And Lazyboi does have the Iron Defense tech on deck, so this Gyarados is never going to be breaking through this Orthman at this point. You could try to potentially whittle it down, but you are also simultaneously getting whittled down by the Rocky Helmet as well, so it's a trade-off at this point.
Yes, but at this point, I mean, the rocks are up, and I don't think they're getting spun away, so I'm not sure if he's going to really have an opportunity to set up this Gyarados again.
Absolutely, because we did see it was Lumberry. It is in fact not heavy duty boots, as H.I.M does actually opt to keep it around. So let's see how he's going to respond to this Iron Defense boosted Earthworm now. Going to sack off the Dusclops first, I imagine, to try and get a free switch in, and then maybe go into a strong special attacker to take it out.
Yes, as now they have a whole bunch of Iron Defenses up, so I mean, they could just start body pressing, and unless they have a strong special attacker, you're not going to be able to deal with his Earthworm.
Yep. Does find the speed tier to be able to outspeed Dusclops here. Dusclops, I believe, is very slow, so even a slow Pokemon like Earthworm will be able to take it out. And I believe that this is actually now quite a tough position for H.I.M to be in, because most of his Pokemon left are primarily physical attackers. So if he does not have a quick response to this Earthworm, if this Earthworm outspeeds here, this could be really tough.
Yes, they do have the Gigalgy, which can throw off a special attack, but, you know, I mean, it's going to be tough. They drop a Draco, and it misses again!
It does actually outspeed, but Draco Meteor gonna miss. Oh, that Draco Meteor. I mean, the first one was bad. This one was especially costly, because like I said, Emerald, I do believe that all H.I.M has left is physical attackers. So this Earthworm acting like a mini Zamazenta right now.
Yes,
actually,
indeed.
the Iron Defense tech really coming through.
Yeah, I do believe that H.I.M did have Thunderbolt on deck. I think that might have been a better move to go for with 100% accuracy. I mean, Earthworm has very bad special defense, so even without the adaptability, probably would have killed. Or at least come close.
Yes. Absolutely, as Toro is now going to come in. Pretty much the last hope for Lazyboi here, but this, again, plus 3 defense. This thing already has Titanic physical bulk, and Tauros, I mean, it's strong, but I wonder if it's actually going to be able to take it out. Raging Bull comes off and is able to take down the Orphan. With a critical hit, I think that critical might have mattered.
That crit definitely mattered. Yeah, if it didn't get that crit, I think it was lights out.
Absolutely here.
Yes, so now Lazyboi still, though, has 3 Pokemon at full health nearly. They do have the Hot Wings, but it doesn't have Brave Bird this week, so it's forced to bring in the Crook.
Absolutely. Again, I do actually believe that Ortho might have been in a potentially really strong position there, but yeah, gonna be able to take it out with a critical hit. And now I wonder if this Crocodile is cooking. I mean, does it actually outspeed the Tauros here? I'm not sure.
It does not, but I think he's counting on them being like locked into a move and not being able to go for a fighting type attack here.
Oh, yep, might have been predicting the Scarf there. Yep, as it goes for the Raging Bull, quite able to do a bit of damage, but not quite able to finish it off, as the Earthquake could be able to finish it off, and the Moxie now being triggered on Crocodile. Going to be set back to neutral with the Intimidate, but still, this could potentially be game if it outspeed the Gyarados, as indeed it does. Knockoff takes it out, and is that game yet?
That is game.
Oh,
so
it is, yep.
Lazyboi is able to defeat H.I.M. That is a solid 4-0 victory there. Obviously, the Draco misses did suck, but I think that Lazyboi was playing a phenomenal game either way.
Very much so. GG's to both sides.
All right, so unfortunately, Scorp had to take a leave there at the end, but we are going to break down quickly the remainder of the games here from this week. So, Cody versus Stefan. Cody was able to get the 2-0 victory here. We've got Pheasantipity and Miloto getting 2 kills, so very defensive team here that Cody has that was able to, it would seem, you know, we've been talking about these setup sweepers and these wall breakers, but it would seem that Stefan, without, I mean, they do have the Cloyster and Chandler, which can be wall breakers, but Cody has a lot of SPF Pokemon here that were able to win the War of Attrition, it would seem, as Miloto and Pheasantipity getting the 2 kills along with Avalugg and Palmont. They did get 2 kills with Galvantula, so that's good to see, and also the Mienshao. Probably on that the Goodra, I'm guessing. That being said, now Anna versus Brandon, they did play the game. Unfortunately for Brandon, there was a wrong Terra type, so a bit of a tragic situation there, resulting in the 3-0 win for Anna there. But that being said, Brandon still could potentially come back the rest of the season. They just have to kind of nearly win out all the rest of their games. So unfortunate situation there, but it is what it is. That being said, let's get into the standings. So, we've got Lazyboi, Pokemaster, and Cody, all still undefeated. Al and Kingbura took the losses in the last week, but they did manage to get dubs this week. So now, we've kind of continued to break down the top 8 here. So, we've got 3 players that are 4-0, 3 players that are 3-1, 2 players that are 2-2, and we got just a wall of 1-3. Danger Dave did get their first win here, along with Aprater as well. So Aprater, because all their games were fairly close, he is at the top of the differential, so he's right there to potentially break through into top 8. But a lot of these coaches are going to have a lot of work to do in their remaining weeks. Fournaubyl, unfortunately, has yet to win a game, but hopefully they will win one in the weeks upcoming. So, that being said, let's check out our kill leaderboard this week. Luxray has successfully officially overtaken the Florges now, getting those last 2 kills in the game versus Danger Dave. It is at 10 kills. We can also see that Noivern and Zoroark have risen up a bit. So yeah, the Skeletor's still standing strong there, even though it didn't get any kills this week. But Lycanroc is also, and Muck are right there. So pretty solid standings here, and we'll see what happens in the future weeks. And that being said, we do have a few transactions here, not as many as the season has continued here. We're basically at the halfway point of the season right now. So we're going to be coming up on the cutoff eventually for the transactions, but in the meantime, we do still have some. Being H.I.M has traded away Shiftry, Grumpig, and Dusclops for Persian Lola, Haunter, and Camerupt for week 5. We also have Kingbura changing the Terra types on the Cryogonal, and the San Antonio Snorlax trading away Thwackey for Beartic. I think that was a good play. Beartic, another Pokemon that actually has Swift Swim as well. So that'll be solid. Thwackey didn't do as much in this last game, so I think it's a solid trade there for Danger Dave. As now we could take a look at our schedule for week 5. So Arcaniner versus DrVr, we won't unfortunately be able to see that game, but it'll be interesting to see the results. H.I.M versus Kingbura is going to be a pretty epic showdown, as well as Pokemaster versus Zeus. Probably the game of the week here, we've got Cody versus Lazyboi, 2 undefeated coaches. So only one of them is going to remain undefeated after this. We have Anna taking on Danger Dave, which is going to be pretty interesting to see. Aprater versus Stefan. B-Nard versus Brandon. We've got the Commissioner Bowl here. And of course, we remember that both of these coaches need a win desperately. So this is a high stakes game here for many reasons. And then finally closing us out, we have Al versus Fournaubyl. So Fournaubyl they're having to face a lot of the tough coaches here. They've had some great techs, but unfortunately they just haven't quite been able to break through yet. So we'll see what happens in that game. That being said, that is it
for the recap of week 4, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.